Shalom Israel. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect men doing this work in truth and in sincerity. There's a video I just watched, which I advise brothers to see. It's called We Are at the Final Stretch, and as you can see, it's on GMS Fair the Most High's page, and you know. Of course, these are the apostles and the elders, man, which we give double honors to them because these are the men that's been pushing, man. These are the men that has been holding fast, you know what I'm saying, to the faith, man. So, one of the lessons I've learned just by watching this is that when you do something, you have to finish it. You know, Elder Inapi was saying how you had guys from the old One West school, and maybe they fell out, man. After the year 2000 thing and different things like that. But he had brought out a point of how these guys they feel like since they did a little bit of work that they good now. Since they did a little bit of work, they feel like they good, man. But the Most High didn't come back yet. The Most High said, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. All right. So we have to keep the Most High's word until He comes back. That's it. We have to keep the Most High's word until He comes back. All right. I just want to get a few precepts real quick on basically keeping the Most High's word. It stood out to me as well, out of all the lessons that I've learned from watching this video, to the fact that I was thinking upon King Asa. Now, when you read about King Asa, he was basically like, out of all, it was maybe like 10 or 15 wicked kings before him. But in the book of Kings, when you read these First Kings, the 15th chapter, it says that he was, let me see, I'm gonna get it, 15:11. I'm gonna start at 8. And Abimelech slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David, and Asa his son reigned in his stead. And in the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did David his father. He took away the Sodomites out of this land, and he removed all the idols that his father had made. And also Maacah, his mother, even her he removed from being queen, because she had made an idol in a grove. And Asa destroyed her idol and burnt it by the brook Kidron. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was perfect with the Lord all his days. And he brought in the things which his father had dedicated, and the things which himself had dedicated into the house of the Lord, silver and golden vessels. So as you can see, as the scripture just said, that his heart was, perfect, right with the Lord, perfect with the Lord all his days. But then it goes on to say, and Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah, and built Ramah, that he might not suffer any to go out to come into Asa, king of Judah. Then Asa took all the silver and the gold that were left in the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house, and delivered them into the hand of his servants. And this is where he went off at, man. And King Asa sent them to Ben-Hadad, the son of Tabrimon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, that dwelt at Damascus, saying, there is a league between me and thee, and between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent unto thee a present of silver and gold. Come and break the league with Baasha, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So Ben-Hadad hearkened unto King Asa, and sent the captains of the host, which he had, against the cities of Israel, and smote Lion, I believe it's Eon, and Dan, and Abel Maacah, and all Sinaroth with all the land of Naphtali. And it came to pass when Baasha heard thereof, that he left off building of Ramah and dwelt in Tirzah. Verse 22, then King Asa made a proclamation throughout all Judah, none was exempted, and they took away the stone of Ramah and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha had builded, and King Asa built with them Geba of Benjamin and Mizpah. So because basically Israel had one up on Judah, which King Asa was the king of Judah at the time, and the reason why they had one up on Judah is because they had the I believe was that Baasha. Oh, Ben Hadad, which basically he was the king of Syria. He had, he was on the side of Israel against Judah. But what King Asa did, he went off by taking he basically went off by taking the silver and stuff, the gold out of the house of the Lord, to basically to basically bribe Ben Hadad to help him. And another reason he went off too, because he was trying to overthrow his brother. All right, because we know Judah and Israel's brethren, man. All right, now I'm gonna skip to Second Chronicles. This is how you know that he went off. Second Chronicles 16. Wait, is it 16 or Second Chronicles chapter 16? I believe it's 16. Or was it First Chronicles? Maybe it's First Chronicles. Second Chronicles is correct. Okay. Second Chronicles chapter 16 verse 6. Then Asa the king took all Judah, and they carried away the stones of Ramah and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha was a building. He built therewith Geba and Mizpah. And at that time Hanani the seer came to Asa king of Judah, and said unto him, Because thou hast relied on the king of Syria, and not relied on the Lord thy God, therefore is the host of the king of Syria escaped out of thy hand. Were not the Ethiopians and the Lubims a huge host, with very many chariots and horsemen? Yet because thou didst rely on the Lord, he delivered them into thy hand. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to shew himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect towards him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. Then you jump down to the bottom. He basically died because he had a disease in his foot. Verse 12, and Asa in the 39th year of his reign was disease in his feet, until his disease was exceeding great. Yet in his disease he sought not to the Lord, but to the physicians. All right, so that's the point, man. Even though Asa did all this good stuff, in the end, you know what I'm saying, he didn't basically maintain. He didn't maintain his faith in the Lord, man. In which case, what, he died. You know what I'm saying? He died having wars, and he had disease in his feet, man. All right. So that's the point to this lesson, is that once you do good, you gotta continue to do good. And different men in the scriptures as well, like for example, King Solomon, man. King Solomon, at first he did good. He built the house of the Lord. He asked for wisdom from the Lord, which the Most High blessed him with. But then he went off, man, because he followed different I believe he followed different like the different gods of his wives, man, which basically took his heart from the Lord. All right. And so basically all that he did in his life at the end, you know what I'm saying, he died. And I believe the Most High brought like different men up against Israel because of his mishaps, man. But because Solomon did good in the beginning of his reign. He didn't finish. He didn't finish, man. Yahweh Shai said, my meat is to do the will of the Father and to finish it, man. And to finish it. All right. So one more precept I want to get to end it off is what Paul said, man. Philippians 3. Probably start at 12. Not as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that for which I also. But I follow. So like I'm gonna just start reading from again. Not as though I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after, if that I may apprehend that from which I also apprehended of Yahweh Shai. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended. So basically, he's and it says, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things that which are behind. All right, so basically, Paul is saying right here, the things that I did, I count that. Basically, I'm not gonna lay that up like as though my work is finished. But he said, forgetting those things which are behind, reaching forth unto those things which are before. All right, I press toward the mark for the price of the high calling of God and Yahweh Shai, which we press toward the mark, man. What's that mark? You know what I'm saying? We press toward the mark of being, we press toward, doing the things that the elect would do, man. Which is, calling upon the Lord's name, standing still stiffly for his name, and keeping his words, man. To have only faith in him and only him. To have faith in him and only him, man. Not nobody else. So that was it, man. Remember, man, once you start something, you gotta finish it. So with that, I hope brothers edified. Shalom, Israel.